Welcome to Must Do Cols in the Mont Blanc region. Episode 2. Today we're on our way to the Col de Romme. We're just near the bottom of the climb, and this gives you an idea of the severity of the Col de Romme. I can see a car coming down, but you can see the telephone masts about there, and that's just over a kilometre into the climb and you're already that high. I'm just on the outskirts of Cluses, and this is the bottom of the Col de Romme. Where I'm stood, absolutely pancake flat. And this is the view that confronts you. All of a sudden, you're going skywards. It goes up to like 12% in the space of about 10 metres. A lot of the climbs in our region, it always seems to be this first ramp that's super steep. Something to be aware of on these cols is some rockfall. Won't do your wheels any good, especially on the descent. So we're 1.5 kilometres into the climb, and you can see how high we've already come. This is the bike path down here. In fact, I could see somebody riding on it now, where I took the shot looking up at the telephone masts, and this is the telephone masts just to my right now. Two kilometres in, the grade eases slightly to an average of 9%. Tour de France trivia. So the Romme was used in the 2009 Tour de France. That day, they'd started in Bourg-Saint-Maurice. They'd come over the Col de Romme, the Col de Saisy, the Col des Arèches. Then they hit the Romme, dropped down to Le Reposoir, and then did the last section of the Colombiere for a stage finish in Le Grand Bonand. Six Ks to go, average of 9%, and we're already at 792 metres above sea level. Cluses down the bottom there is at about 500 metres above sea level. It says an average 9% for the next kilometre, but this is about 7% here, so we know what's coming around the next corner. It was 2018 before the Romme was used in the Tour de France again, and that stage started in Annecy, went over the Coifferie, over Plateau de Glières, arrived at the Romme, and then over the Colombiere and finishing again in Le Grand Bonand. Greg Van Avermaet was in the yellow jersey. Everybody thought he was going to lose it that day, but he clung on to it, and it wasn't until the next day's stage to La Rosière where Geraint Thomas secured the yellow jersey. That's the Col de la Ramaz over in the distance. We're halfway up the climb, and this is the tiny village of Nancy-sur-Cluses. Make the most of this section. It's a brief respite before we go around the next corner and it gets really steep. Wiggins and the Texan were fighting for the last place on the podium and were trying to attack one another. At this point, they were virtually doing track stands, trying to outwit one another. We all know who got outwitted in the end. Whilst the Texan might have stood on the podium in Paris, it was Wiggo that was promoted to third place a couple of years later. There's moody sky over there, and anybody that's climbing over the Ramaz today, which is that one, looks like they should have packed their rain jacket. 1 kilometre to go, and I promise it's going to get easier. Average is 7%. You can see where the road just eases off here, and you can change up a few gears for the final sprint to the line. We've just got to get to that cross, and we've pretty much nailed it. So we're here at the summit, and the tiny village of Romme. So that's the Col de Romme. But stay with me for another 20 seconds and I'll just show you what's around the corner. Just over the summit. And this is a good shot in terms of logistics. So the road drops down to Le Reposoir and then goes up the Colombiere, which the summit is that shoulder there. So that's the Col de Romme. Another one ticked off in must-do climbs of the Mont Blanc region. Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe button.